Yes.
How is that possible? So can you explain?
Yes, yes, sure. If you have other problems as well, you can ask me till the time everyone is joining,
But
okay?
y is equal to 1 by 16
Acha, y is equals to 1 by under
minus
root of
x squared.
16 minus x square. Was it this?
No, 1 by root of
1 by,
16.
yes, right? Reciprocal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, the answer would be different. I thought this is y is equals to root over 16 minus x square. So, okay, if we are given y is 1 by root over 16 minus x square. So what we have to do is we will simply first find out the range for this, which is what? Tell me. The range for just root over 16 minus
Range,
x
right?
square. Yeah, right.
Sir, I got range is y is equal to
No.
plus
Just for this, just tell me the range for this expression under root over 16 minus x square.
is
Just for this.
greater than 0.
It should be 0 to 4, right? Am I correct?
Yeah,
Safa?
0
It should be
comma
0
4.
to 4. Yeah, okay. So now you have to take the reciprocal of it, right? So what happens in the case of reciprocal is, so these are some rules. We have studied them in linear inequalities, right? So let's understand how to reciprocal. So let's say x is given from A to B. So there are two cases. First case is defined for AB greater than 0. Now, if I tell you that there are two values A and B, and the product of both of them is positive, so what do you understand by this, Safa? If I tell you AB greater than 0, can you derive any inference about A and B? Like, do you know what can A and what can B be?
Sir, I can't understand what you're saying. If A
Okay.
and B,
Okay, so what I want you to understand is, if I have given you a product positive and it contains however values, so let's say this is A into B, there are two values A and B, and the product of both of them is positive. So it means that either both of them are positive, that is A is greater than 0 and B is greater than 0, or
what you,
both of them are negative. Am I correct?
yeah.
Yeah. So whenever we say that AB greater than 0, we just want to tell that either both of the sign of both of these values must be same. Either they must be positive or they must be negative, right? So when AB greater than 0, now what are A and B? So we have these two limits that X is in between A to B, right? So let's take a case like X is from 1 to 4. Now we want to understand, we want to find out what are the values that 1 upon x can take. So that basically means if I have to take reciprocal of any expression, how would I do that? So first I need to confirm that the both of the side, I mean both the sides of the inequalities are of same sign. Either they are positive or they are negative. If they are of same sign, then what we do is we take the reciprocal of both these values, 1 and 4. So reciprocal of 1 is 1 and reciprocal of 4 is 1 by 4. Now place them accordingly. 1 by 4 is lesser and 1 reciprocal of 1 is greater. So if x is in between A to B, 1 by x must belong to 1 by B to 1 by A. जितना बड़ा वैल्यू होगा उसका रेसिप्रोकल उतना ही छोटा होगा. दैट्स द थिंग. और क्लोज ब्रैकेट ओपन ब्रैकेट तो जैसा साइन यहां पे होगा वैसा ही साइन यहां पे भी होगा, राइट? सो इफ बोथ ऑफ द वैल्यूज आर पॉजिटिव or negative, then 1 by x will simply change to 1 by b to 1 by a, right? So for example, मेरे को दिया गया है x की वैल्यू -2, सॉरी, x is from -2 to 0. Now 0 is neither positive nor negative, तो ये चलेगा, इससे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. So 1 by x let's say यहाँ पे भी equals to 0 है. So x is from -2 to 0. Now 1 by x must be 0 का reciprocal is infinity, but यहाँ पे मैं minus infinity लूंगा क्योंकि मैं नेगेटिव साइड से अप्रोच कर रहा हूँ 0 को. So 0 का reciprocal is minus infinity and any value cannot be equal to minus infinity. So that is why I am taking open bracket here, right? Comma -2 का reciprocal is -half. यहाँ पे मैं क्लोज ब्रैकेट लगा दूंगा. फिर से एक और एग्जांपल. सो लेट्स से x की वैल्यू मेरे को दिया गया है -7 से -4 तक. सो 1 by x must be from -1 by 4 with close bracket because there is an equal to here to -1 by 7. जितना छोटा वैल्यू the reciprocal is the greatest. Is it understood?
So, sir, for this close bracket 0, 4, is it 1 by 4 to infinity?
Yes, 1 by 4 to infinity, correct.
Sir, in this expression, it's like I'm talking about y is equal to 1 by root 16 minus x squared. We'll
Okay.
get that y squared will be greater than equal to root of 16, right? Root of 1 by 16.
Y square is greater than equal to root of 1 by 16. You're saying?
Root of 1 by 16. Like after solving it. And we won't consider that, sir, in root, we won't consider the negative one, only the positive one, right?
Yes, yes.
So we will take it as 1 by 4 and minus 1 by 4 will be rejected, like won't be
Right.
considered.
Right.
Okay, sir.
This is something like this. X squared equals to 16
Yeah.
minus 1 upon y square, right?
Yes, sir.
And here you can solve 4 minus 1 upon y into 4 plus 1 upon y. You can also break it.
I got it as 1 by 4 comma infinity. Y is equal to 1 by 4 comma infinity.
1 by 4 comma infinity, correct. Okay. But the problem arises when AB is less than 0. That is, one value is positive and one value is negative. Then if x belongs to A to B, then 1 by x will belong first is minus infinity to 1 by a, पहले वाले वैल्यू का रेसिप्रोकल माइनस इंफिनिटी से 1 by a यूनियन 1 by b to plus infinity. So what happens is, for example, let's say I have to apply it in this case. X is from -2 to 3. So first of all, I can directly write 1 upon x is should be from minus infinity to minus half union 1 by 3 to infinity. But if you want to understand how is this happening, then you have to break it in two parts. You can't solve it like this. You have to first consider this part, that is all the negative values, and then all the positive values. Now you can solve this separately for the positive part and negative part, and you will get your answer.
Okay, sir.
everyone, this is the rule for reciprocal, what I have put inside the hashtag. So these are two rules, how to take reciprocal of any expression. So if, and this x can represent any expression, right? So let's say x is in between a to b. So you have been given the interval for x, कि आपको x दिया गया, x की वैल्यू यहां से यहां तक जा रही है। तो अगर आप 1 अपॉन x की वैल्यूज निकालना चाहते हैं, सो यू वांट टू बेसिकली रेसिप्रोकल, वांट टू फाइंड आउट द वैल्यूज फॉर रेसिप्रोकल। सो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज फर्स्ट चेक कि जो भी x के दोनों साइड पे वैल्यूज लिखे हुए हैं, उन दोनों का साइन सेम है या डिफरेंट है। दैट इज आइदर दे बोथ मस्ट बी पॉजिटिव और बोथ मस्ट बी नेगेटिव। एक केस तो ये हो जाता है जिसको हम इससे बुलाते हैं ए बी ग्रेटर देन जीरो। ए बी ग्रेटर देन जीरो का मतलब है दो वैल्यूज है ए एंड बी, दोनों का प्रोडक्ट है पॉजिटिव। दोनों का प्रोडक्ट पॉजिटिव दो ही केसेस में हो सकता है, या तो दोनों वैल्यूज पॉजिटिव हो या तो दोनों वैल्यूज नेगेटिव हो। तो पहला केस जब एक्स के दोनों तरफ साइन सेम है, या तो दोनों तरफ पॉजिटिव है या तो दोनों तरफ नेगेटिव है। और दूसरा केस जब ए बी लेस देन जीरो, यानी कि एक वैल्यू पॉजिटिव है एक वैल्यू नेगेटिव है। तो मैंने दो कुछ एग्जांपल्स भी लिए मैंने इसके बेस्ड, ऐसा नहीं। तो ये वाला एग्जांपल सेकंड केस का है, -2 से 3 के बीच में x दिया गया है और आपको 1 अपॉन x की वैल्यू निकालनी है। और ये तीन एग्जांपल्स फर्स्ट वाले केस के हैं। तो फॉर्मूला सिंपल है, जितनी बड़ी वैल्यू होती है उसका रेसिप्रोकल उतना ही छोटा हो जाता है। तो लेट्स से अगर 2 और 3 में आप कंपेयर करेंगे तो 3 बड़ा है, तो 3 का रेसिप्रोकल 1/3 1/2 से छोटा होगा। अगर वैल्यू बड़ी है तो उसका रेसिप्रोकल छोटा होगा, राइट? दैट्स द रूल। तो फर्स्ट केस में मैंने आपको फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करके दिखाया, एक्स की वैल्यू 1 से 4 तक है, तो 1 अपॉन एक्स की वैल्यू 1/4 से 1 तक हो जाएगी। मतलब 4 का रेसिप्रोकल 1/4, 1 का रेसिप्रोकल 1। तो जो बड़े वाला नंबर है उसका रेसिप्रोकल छोटा हो जाएगा, जो छोटे वाला नंबर है उसका रेसिप्रोकल सबसे बड़ा हो जाएगा। तो वही मैंने हर जगह लगाया है, आप देख सकते हो ये तीनों एग्जांपल्स वही हैं। यहाँ पे एक्स की वैल्यू -2 से 0 तक दी गई है, तो 0 का रेसिप्रोकल इन्फिनिटी। अब क्योंकि यहाँ पे नेगेटिव साइड से 0 को अप्रोच कर रहे हैं, तो -इन्फिनिटी। हमेशा एक्स की वैल्यू नेगेटिव ही रहेगी। तो x कैन बी, सॉरी 1 अपॉन x कैन बी -इन्फिनिटी टू -हाफ, -हाफ -2 का रेसिप्रोकल। ऐसी थर्ड वाले केस में देखो दोनों तरफ साइन सेम है, इधर भी नेगेटिव है इधर भी नेगेटिव है। तो 1 अपॉन x की वैल्यू बड़े वाले नंबर का रेसिप्रोकल करा पहले, और फिर छोटे वाले नंबर का रेसिप्रोकल करा, -1/4 से -1/7। तो पहला केस तो बहुत ही सिंपल है, इफ x is from a to b and a and b both have same sign, then 1 upon x will be from 1 upon b to 1 upon a, बड़े वाली वैल्यू का रेसिप्रोकल टू छोटे वाली वैल्यू का रेसिप्रोकल, यहां तक जाएगा। बट अगर दोनों तरफ साइन अलग अलग है तो आंसर दो होंगे, एक नेगेटिव वाला एक पॉजिटिव वाला। सो फॉर एग्जांपल x की वैल्यू -2 से 3 तक है, तो आप इसको दो पार्ट्स में ब्रेक कर दीजिए। एक जब x सिर्फ नेगेटिव है यानी कि -2 से 0, और एक जब x 0 से 3 है यानी कि सिर्फ पॉजिटिव है। और आप फिर से फर्स्ट वाला फॉर्मूला अप्लाई कर दीजिए, तो आपको आंसर मिलेगा 1 अपॉन एक्स बिलोंग्स टू -इन्फिनिटी टू पहले वाली नंबर का रेसिप्रोकल यानी कि नेगेटिव वाली वैल्यू का रेसिप्रोकल, -इन्फिनिटी टू 1/a यूनियन यानी कि प्लस 1/b टू इन्फिनिटी। तो दो आंसर्स हैं बेसिकली। तो यहां पे भी मैंने अप्लाई करके दिखाया, एक्स की वैल्यू -2 से 3 तक है, तो 1 अपॉन एक्स की वैल्यू -इन्फिनिटी टू -हाफ यूनियन 1/3, 3 का रेसिप्रोकल इज 1/3 टू इन्फिनिटी। These are rules for basically reciprocal. अच्छा, ये तो एक फॉर्मूला था, आप सभी इसको नोट कर सकते हैं फटाफट एग्जांपल्स के साथ। दूसरा ये कि अभी आप यू कैन आस्क मी एनी डाउट फ्रॉम पीएनसी। आई थिंक वी हैव ऑलरेडी कवर्ड पीएनसी, permutation and combination, so you can ask doubts from miscellaneous examples or from any exercise or anything else from NCERT, so you can ask me, right? Don't hesitate, okay? If you haven't solved, then तो आपके लिए काफी डिसअपॉइंटिंग क्लास हो सकती है अभी। बट अगर किसी ने भी सॉल्व किया है और एनीवन ही और शी हैज क्वेरीज और प्रॉब्लम्स, तो डाउट्स, तो यू कैन आस्क मी फ्रीली। और उसके बाद अभी ये तो आप कर ही सकते हैं, और साथ साथ आप मेरे को एक टॉपिक का नाम बताइए। यू हैव 3-4 चॉइसेस, हम कोई भी स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। माय चॉइस इज बाइनोमियल, बाय द वे, बाइनोमियल थ्योरम। Can start with this, but we can also start with complex number. I think complex numbers, I don't know whether it has already been done in your school or not, but if it has been done तो कोई फायदा नहीं है कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर वापस करने का, क्योंकि कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर बहुत ज्यादा कहीं आगे यूज नहीं होगा, बेसिक ही है. Another chapter is sequence and series, very important chapter for your exams. You will be receiving a lot of questions from sequence and series. So you can give your choice in the chat box.
Sir,
Yes.
straight lines.
Straight lines, yes, but not अभी, क्योंकि straight lines के साथ हम तीनों chapters पढ़ रहे होंगे फिर एक साथ ही.
Sir, I have my exams next month and
Okay.
completed binomial theorem, complex
Binomial theorem, complex
numbers
number,
already.
and
Sequences.
sorry.
Sorry, sequence and series. It is.
Safa, your
So the
voice is
third.
cracking.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So
Sir, the
binomial
third,
theorem, complex numbers.
it's already covered. And
Okay.
sequence and series, for me, it's not for this term. It's next term portion.
Okay.
So straight lines is the last chapter we are doing, and sir, I'm a bit confused in that chapter.
It's okay, Safa. I can take extra classes for you for straight lines. No worries. Just inform the management and we'll tell you the timings for the class.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah. Fahad, Harif, Abdullah, Safa. Tell me a choice. From where do
Sir,
we
for the
start?
extra,
Yeah, so
like you will be informing me the extra class timings.
your management will be informing you. So you just tell her or him that I need an extra class on straight lines, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be happy to help you.
Okay, sir.
अभी किसी का भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है पीएनसी से, परम्यूटेशन एंड कॉम्बिनेशन? ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए था. प्रॉब्लम्स, यू शुड हैव प्रॉब्लम्स, बिकॉज इफ यू हैव सॉल्व्ड यू वुड हैव प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट? If you haven't, so then you won't have problem. It's not like you will solve the questions and you can solve every question. No. And specifically in PNC, you will be facing a lot of questions. You'll be facing a lot of problems because the questions are tough. You need to understand the logic. Okay, we can ask questions in next classes as well. Just complete it and ask me questions. Okay. Don't leave, guys. Don't leave these chapters. PNC is a very important chapter because you will be having this probability in 11th as well as 12th, and for probability you need PNC. You won't be able to solve questions from probability if you are not good in PNC. So complete this chapter. It's an important chapter. Okay, so I only got 2 answers. Just tell me the choices you want me to start with. Okay. Okay. I just need one more person to say the same because everybody has changed to this chapter. Fahad, Tharif, Abdullah, tell me, what do you want to start with? Is it binomial or sequence and series?
Sir, we'll start with one which is tougher, I guess.
Tougher. Everything is tougher, Tharif. I'll make tougher. I'll give you questions which are tough. And they can be from both the chapters.
So, like, we'll start with the chapter which is like tougher.
The sequence and series is a bigger chapter than binomial. So let's start with sequence and series. And also sequence and series, you'll be like having 8 to 10 marks paper from sequence and series. So let's start with sequence and series. Also, you're familiar with sequence and series. Okay, so let's start with some basic things first. Like the name of the chapter is sequence and series, right? Just a minute. Yeah, so the name of the chapter is sequence and series. You have already studied one chapter, one part of sequences, which was AP, arithmetic progression, in class 10th. आयशा तो अभी भी 10th में ही है, रोज 10th का ही वो लिखे. तो arithmetic progression we have already studied, right? But there are more things to sequence and series. Also, sequence and series will also be coming in if someone wants to be an engineer, if someone wants to do BTech. So you'll be again solving these questions from sequence and series. और एक क्या बात है 11th J. Thanks Aisha, तुम्हें हमें अपना section भी बता दिया. Otherwise we would have never known. So yeah. So let's understand these two words first. What is a sequence and what is a series? So please tell me, what do you understand by sequence? Like you have heard it many a times, right? In your houses with your friends, and you have like spoken about sequences. Some we say something which is in pattern, we say it a sequence, right? So what do you understand by sequence? क्या क्या समझ आता है अगर sequence बोलता है कोई तो how did you decipher the word sequence? I just want to ask this. हमारे घरों में सब लोगों ने यूज किया है, आप लोग भी सीक्वेंस बहुत बार बोलते हो. What is a sequence? Anyone? I'm very open to wrong answers. Yeah, Iram, please.
There should be a particular order.
Okay.
Pattern.
Pattern, right? Anyone else wants to add something to it? Okay. So Aram was correct. There should be a particular order to it, but you don't know what does that mean actually. You just say this thing that there must be a particular order, but we don't know. Okay, what is that particular order? Aisha is totally incorrect because we Aisha, but that's the most common answer, right? Every time I ask about sequence, someone says pattern because we have been told to see sequence in a pattern. हमने घर में किसी ने भी यूज किया है तो हमेशा उसने पैटर्न को बताने के लिए ही सीक्वेंस यूज किया है, बट दैट इज नॉट द राइट डेफिनेशन. सीक्वेंस का कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है यार पैटर्न से. सीक्वेंस डजंट वांट अ पैटर्न. एनीथिंग एनी एक्सप्रेशन डजंट वांट I mean any expression needs not to be a pattern to form a sequence, right? There's nothing there's no correlation between sequence. There's no relation between sequence and pattern, right? First of all, understand this. वो अलग बात है यूज ऐसे ही किया जाता है इसको, पर इसका कोई लेना देना है नहीं. तो सबसे पहले तो हम ये समझ लेते हैं कि व्हाट इज अ सीक्वेंस. सीक्वेंस कुछ नहीं है यार, एक ऑर्डर में, ऑर्डर माने तो आपने कुछ वैल्यूज को कॉमा से सेपरेट करते हुए लिख दिया. अगर आपने कुछ वैल्यूज को कॉमा से सेपरेट करते हुए लिख दिया तो वो एक सीक्वेंस है, ये समझ लो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अब देखो इसमें कोई पैटर्न नहीं बना रहा, मैंने रैंडम नंबर्स लिखता जा रहा हूं मैं. 1 4 100, पहले पॉजिटिव लिखे, फिर नेगेटिव लिखे, फिर इरेशनल भी लिख दिया एक, तो √2 -5 -1000, राइट? ना कुछ भी लिख रहा हूं मैं, कोई पैटर्न नहीं है इन नंबर्स के बीच में, बट स्टिल दे आर फॉर्मिंग अ सीक्वेंस एंड द सीक्वेंस इज फाइनाइट. व्हाई फाइनाइट? क्योंकि इसके अंदर जो टर्म्स हैं वो मैं गिन सकता हूं. आई कैन काउंट दीज टर्म्स. देयर आर 7 टर्म्स इन दिस सीक्वेंस. This is a finite sequence of 7 terms. So what is a sequence? Some numbers written separated by a comma. Right? It doesn't matter whether they are forming any pattern or not. No. तो सीक्वेंस तो बहुत ही सिंपल सा टर्म है. बस सीक्वेंस को हम हमेशा इस तरीके से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं ए एन, या फिर ऐसे रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं ऐसे. ये सीक्वेंस दिखाने का तरीका है. दिस इज द नोटेशन फॉर अ सीक्वेंस. सो इफ समवन राइट्स दिस, आई विल अंडरस्टैंड that these are this represents a sequence of n terms. What are those terms? These terms are a1, a2, or also you can use tn. Tn also tells you the term from 1 to n. So sequence of n terms माने तो a1, a2, a3 और चलते 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 ऐसे an last term. So there are n terms, right? Which may be in a pattern, which may follow certain order. Doesn't matter. Follow कर रहे हैं pattern या नहीं, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. But they are forming a sequence. That is true, right? तो हम sequence को ऐसे बोल देते हैं कि sequence is basically a function whose domain is natural numbers, right? तो डोमेन नेचुरल नंबर से हम क्या बोलना चाहते हैं? बेसिकली हम ये बोलना चाहते हैं कि आपके पास टर्म्स से सीक्वेंस बनता है और टर्म्स हमेशा नेचुरल नंबर के टर्म्स में ही होती है. व्हाट आई मीन इज कि ये जो नीचे प्रीफिक्स लिखा हुआ है, ये सफिक्स व्हाटएवर दिस इज 1 2 3 अप टू n, these must be natural numbers. Like you can't form a term 1.5. 1.5th term कुछ नहीं होता है. फर्स्ट टर्म होता है या सेकंड टर्म होता है, right? Third term, fourth term, fifth term, sixth term, seventh term, eighth term, ninth, 10th, 100th term. The term can be only expressed in natural numbers. The value of term can be root 2, can be minus 1000, minus 100, doesn't matter. But that term will be like 7th term or 8th term or 9th term or 10th term. Whatever that term is, that will always be in natural numbers. The value of the term can be any real number, right? So sequence, तो बस हमने कुछ टर्म्स को लिखा, n टर्म्स का सीक्वेंस, तो कॉमा से सेपरेट करते हुए लिख देंगे. दैट इज इजी. Sequence is basically n terms written and separated with a comma. Now let's come to the point that what is a pattern then, right? Because we have always connected sequence with a pattern. So how did it happen? This happened because there is a term called progression, right? Now what is a progression? Progression is a subset of sequence, first of all, right? And those subsets in which there is a certain pattern, there is an order, right? So just like AP has a certain pattern to it, so that is a progression, arithmetic progression. And what is the pattern? The pattern is that every time you get the next value, same number will be added, right? Same number will be added to get each next term. So if first term is a, second term will be a plus d, third term will be, then again add d, a plus 2d, then again add d, a plus 3d, then again add d, a plus 4d. So basically what is the sequence? What is this progression? AP is something, a sequence, right? Or a progression in which the difference of any two consecutive terms is same is known as arithmetic progression, right? That is the basic definition of AP. Similarly, there can be more progressions. We have just studied AP, but in this syllabus you will be studying 3 progressions. First is AP, then second is GP, then third is HP. So what is GP? GP is geometric progression. Now how does
So what is HP?
Harmonic progression. Now let's understand what are these geometric and harmonic progression as well. जिस तरीके से एपी में आप हर टर्म को डी ऐड करते हुए निकालते हो, या फिर आप बोलते हो कि हर दो कंसेक्यूटिव टर्म्स का डिफरेंस सेम होगा, विच इज डी, कॉमन डिफरेंस, उसी तरीके से ज्योमेट्रिक प्रोग्रेशन में हर बार टर्म मल्टीप्लाई होकर मिलेगा. क्या मल्टीप्लाई? एक कोई भी नंबर होगा जिसको हम आर बोल रहे हैं. वाई आर? अभी बताता हूं. तो फर्स्ट टर्म इज ए, सेकेंड टर्म विल बी ए इंटू आर, थर्ड टर्म विल बी ए इंटू आर स्क्वायर. एक और बार और आर मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. नेक्स्ट टर्म के लिए फिर से आर मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. नेक्स्ट टर्म के लिए फिर से आर मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया. So is there anyone who hasn't studied sequence and series yet in the class? Like, is there anyone who is studying this chapter for the first time? Just raise your hand. Yeah, Fahad, Safa, Tari. Okay, cool. Acha, Abdullah as well. Okay, Aisha and Iram has already covered. ठीक है. Okay, so this, guys, you can down your hands. Yeah. So guys, I'm just telling you a very basic introduction of these progression first. I want you to understand them. You know, then we will go to the properties part and the next parts of these different topics. So we have two topics, AP and GP. We don't have HP first of all, but I just want to tell you about HP that, and there are more, in fact, more progressions. Not just AP, GP, and HP. There are many progressions, and progressions include. Progressions are can be used in our daily lives as well. Have anybody does this? Have anybody did this in their childhood? के हमें ना tiles, जैसे बहुत सारे surfaces पे tiles होती है, and when we are moving, so we want to cover one tile at each time, right? You want to jump to the next tile. So while walking, I used to do this a lot. कि मेरे को हर टाइल पे जंप करते हुए चलना होता था. वन स्टेप फॉर ईच टाइल, राइट? ये हम बचपन में करते थे. दैट इज आल्सो पैटर्न, राइट? सो देयर आर मेनी थिंग्स व्हिच कैन बी कनेक्टेड टू विद पैटर्न्स, एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी आर स्टडीइंग पैटर्न्स. तो सीक्वेंस तो पैटर्न बनाएगा या नहीं बनाएगा कोई मैटर नहीं करता, बट प्रोग्रेशन हर बार एक पैटर्न फॉलो करेगा ही करेगा. व्हाट इज दैट पैटर्न? वो आपको बता दिया जाएगा. आपके पास दो तरीके के पैटर्न्स होंगे, एपी या जीपी. एपी में हर बार सेम नंबर ऐड करते हैं, वैसे जीपी में हर बार सेम नंबर मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं. तो फॉर एग्जांपल फर्स्ट टर्म इज ए, तो आप आर 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 से मल्टीप्लाई करते जा रहे हो. अच्छा, चलो थोड़े से फॉर्मूले बना लेते हैं. चलो देखते हैं तुम कितना समझे ये बात. तो समझ आया तुम्हें जीपी कैसे बनता है? एक एग्जाम्पल भी दिखा देता हूँ, देखो छोटा सा. आगे बाद में बढ़ेंगे, पहले समझ लेते हैं अच्छे से. क्या ये एक जीपी है? हाउ डू यू आइडेंटिफाई? क्या ये एक जीपी है? So if first term is 2 and second term is given 6, what must be multiplied to 2 to get 6?
This is a GP.
3,
right? So if you you knew now that we have multiplied 3 to get 6. Now we must multiply 6 by 3 to get 18. Is that true?
yes sir.
Yeah. So, and if you multiply 18 by 3, we get 54. So this is certainly a GP, but you can also do that by just dividing these two terms. So divide 6 by 2, divide the next term by previous term, you get 3. Just divide them as well, 3. Divide them as well, 3. So what is it? It's the ratio of two consecutive terms is always same. That is why this R is known as common ratio. So if you take any two consecutive term here, you'll get the same ratio. You'll get the common ratio. So that common ratio is defined as R, just like common difference was D, difference, D from difference. So R, similarly R from ratio. So this is AR, AR square, AR cube, right? Second term is AR. So we have multiplied R one time to get the second term. Now in third term, we have a into r square. That is, we have multiplied r twice, क्योंकि फर्स्ट टर्म से सेकंड टर्म पे पहुंचने के लिए एक बार r का मल्टीप्लीकेशन, and then one multiplication of r to reach third term from second term. So that is why we have ar square as our third term. Similarly, one more r gets multiplied with this term to get the fourth term, right? So this is ar cube. Did you understand this, everyone? If you understood this, just tell me what is the 10th term. If I want to write 10th term in this, how many r must be multiplied to get the 10th term?
R raised to 9.
R is to the power 9. 9 r's need to be multiplied to get the 10th term, because for second term, we have to multiply r by 1. I mean r once. Then to get the third term, we have to multiply r twice. To get fourth term, we have to multiply r thrice, right? So to get 10th term, that is A10 is 10th term, or you can also write it as T10. They both are same, but you just follow one, either A or T, right? So you follow A, okay? You can follow anything. I would personally prefer T, but everything in your book NCERT is given in terms of A, so you can also follow A, but that is your choice. It doesn't matter. It won't change anything. Okay. So A10 is your 10th term, and that can be written as A into r to the power 9. Tharif, Fahad, did you understand this? A10 is
Yes,
AR
sir,
to the power
understood.
9. Okay, cool. So can you tell me what is the nth term? First of all, just tell me the nth term of AP. You know what is the nth term of AP? Just tell me. Fatafat. Anyone?
A plus ND.
A plus ND. ये थोड़ा उधर कतार में ही पढ़ा रहे हैं, हमारे इधर दिल्ली में नहीं है ये वाला रूल.
Sorry, N minus 1D.
अरे क्या बात है, इंफॉर्मेशन बड़ी फास्ट ट्रैवल हो रही है, कतर वाले भी समझ जा रहे हैं हमारे घर. नॉइस. Okay, a plus n minus 1 into d, right? This was the nth term of AP. So just tell me the nth term of GP. Anyone? Not Aram and Aisha.
Sir, A plus N minus 1 into R.
Oh, yeah. A plus into first let Tharif.
A plus.
Yeah.
Sir, is it A into N minus 1 R?
A into n minus 1 R. No, Tharif. Why? Okay, Safa. The same
Sir,
thing.
A R raised to n minus 1.
Yes. We are multiplying, Tharif, we are multiplying R n minus 1 times.
Yes, sir.
So it should come, n minus 1 should come in the power of R, right? So this is the nth term of your GP. See, these things are easy. You just need to understand the concept first. If you understand the concept, you'll be easily getting the answers. But just understand how this thing is processing, right? Now let's understand what is harmonic progression, HP. This is very simple, okay? If you take an AP, right? So just chalo, tell this, anyone, please tell me an AP. Any AP you want to tell me with numbers. आयशा बता दे, कोई AP बता दे फटाफट, जो तेरा मन हो.
Two. 4, 6, 8.
चलो थोड़ा और टफ बना देते हैं इसमें. ये भी AP है ना? ये कंफर्मेशन दे दे बस. बताते रहा कर, मेरे को पता नहीं होता, मैं कभी कभी गलत पढ़ा देता हूँ इसे. 2, 5, 8, 11, 14 है नहीं? सही बात है. चलो AP है, राइट? अगर मैं इस AP के हर टर्म का रेसिप्रोकल ले लूं, 2 का रेसिप्रोकल इज 1/2, देन 5 का रेसिप्रोकल इज 1/5, देन 8 का रेसिप्रोकल इज 1/8, 1/11, 1/14. अगर मैं पूरे के किसी भी AP का रेसिप्रोकल लेता हूं, तो वो HP बोला जाता है, हार्मोनिक प्रोग्रेशन बोला जाता है. दैट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ हार्मोनिक प्रोग्रेशन. That is how this progression process, reciprocal of AP, right? So that is how these progressions are designed, and these are the concepts. Like if you ask about AP, then there will be a constant difference between any two consecutive terms. If you ask what is a geometric progression, there must be a common ratio. If you divide any two consecutive terms, that is the next term by previous term, that ratio must be same for any two consecutive terms. Then you can easily say, then you can safely say that this progression is geometric. This sequence is a geometric progression, is a GP, right? Okay, so the first term to understand is sequence. From sequence, we derived that there is a term called progression, right? मैं भी आपको इसकी basic definition भी लिखवा देता हूँ. Have everyone written this? If you haven't, yeah.
HP is like the reciprocal of AP. So
Yes.
any AP might be like 2, 3, 4, like I'm just saying. Then
Okay.
HP will be 1/2, 1/3, 1/4.
Yes. Correct, Safa.
So we'll be learning HP as well.
You won't be learning HP?
Like all these three progressions are there in the book.
No, not in the NCRT. I just told you about HP because I wanted to tell you about HP. No, it's not in your syllabus. Guys, just give me a minute. Yes. So it's not in the syllabus, but I just told you. And there are not much questions of HP as well. You just need to understand this concept. Reciprocal of AP wala concept. Bas. That's the only thing I'll be telling you. There are things, but there's not, I mean, there are not many topics in HP. HP is easy to understand if you want to study it.
So each term of any progression will always be like a natural number, right? Apart from HP.
No, I didn't say that, Safa. I clearly told
Like
you what
the
does that mean. Term, the value of the term can be anything, but the name of the term will always be in natural numbers, like first term, second term, third term. The value of the term can be anything, can be either rational, irrational, negative, positive. But the
like,
name of the term, like first term, second term, you won't get root
yeah.
2h term. You won't get minus second term. There's no minus second term. The terms will always be in like first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth, sixth, eighth, ninth, 10th, 100th.
Okay, so I'm just
ओके जस्ट गिव मी अ मिनट. मैं एक बार चेक करता हूँ कि मेरे पास इसके नोट्स भी हैं, तो उसमें आपको इनके सबकी डेफिनेशन वगैरह लिखी होगी. यू कैन ऑल्सो टेक द स्क्रीनशॉट. कोई डेफिनेशन आपसे पूछ नहीं रहा है. दिस इज जस्ट फॉर योर बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. Yeah, got it. Just yes, can I remove this? Okay. The first term is your sequence. You don't need to write everything. These are basically JE notes. Yeah, Safa, sure. Just take the either take the screenshot. No, you have to take the screenshot only. You can't like write after coming. This is I have made sense about the word sequence. Sequence is a function whose domain is the set n natural numbers, can be represented with an, tn, just like this sequence of n terms. Sequence of n terms means t1, t2, t3 up to tn. And I have also explained this with an example that this is a sequence. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Yes,
It's
Safa.
wait for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Safa, I told you. Just take the screenshot.
Yeah, sir, I took it.
Yeah. So there's a sequence. Now, what is a real sequence? Real sequence is that sequence in which all the terms are real number. That is, the value of the terms are real number only. Just like this is a real sequence. This is a real sequence, right? If I write I, 2I, 4, 0, then this is a complex sequence because I have used I. This is a complex sequence. But nonetheless, we are not talking about complex sequence because we won't get one. Right? Everything is real sequence here. Now, what is progression? It is not necessary that the terms of a sequence always follow a certain pattern, or they are described by some explicit formula. So basically, we want to tell you कि हमेशा ऐसा नहीं होगा सीक्वेंस के केस में कि टर्म्स के बीच में कोई पैटर्न नहीं है. जैसे कि हमने आपको दिखाया भी, ये एक सीक्वेंस है, कोई पैटर्न नहीं बनता, राइट? बट अगर पैटर्न फॉलो होता है, दो सीक्वेंसेस whose terms follow certain patterns, वो सीक्वेंस को प्रोग्रेशन बोल सकते हैं. तो कहने का मतलब है कि सीक्वेंस तो बहुत सारे हैं, बट उसके अंदर प्रोग्रेशन कुछ ही होंगे. दिस इज सीक्वेंस, बाहर वाला, दिस इज प्रोग्रेशन. Progressions are a subset of sequence, right? अभी बात करते हैं दूसरा वर्ड सीरीज की. व्हाट इज अ सीरीज? सीरीज यार सिंपल, अगर आप अपनी टर्म्स को ऐड कर दो, सब्ट्रैक्ट कर दो, तो सीरीज बन जाती है. आपको अपनी टर्म्स के बीच में आइदर एडिशन और सब्ट्रैक्शन और बोथ, कि आप कभी ऐड कर रहे हो, कभी सब्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे हो, कभी ऐड करते हो, कभी सब्ट्रैक्ट, वो आपकी मर्जी है कैसे, कहां आप पुट करना चाहते हो, प्लस कहां माइनस. बट अगर आप अपनी सीरीज की टर्म्स के बीच को either by adding or subtracting the terms of a sequence, we get an expression which is called series. तो सीरीज में बस हम कुछ टर्म्स को ऐड या सब्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे होते हैं. इस तरीके की चीजों को हम सीरीज बोल देते हैं गाइस, राइट? जस्ट ठीक है जी. या नेक्स्ट थिंग इज सीरीज. तो सीरीज के बारे में हम बोल सकते हैं सीरीज कैन बी फाइनाइट और इनफाइनाइट अकॉर्डिंग एज सीक्वेंस इज फाइनाइट और इनफाइनाइट. तो अगर कोई सीक्वेंस फाइनाइट है तो उससे जो सीरीज बनेगी वो भी फाइनाइट ही बनेगी. आपको मैंने यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल भी दिखाया है. दिस इज अ फाइनाइट सीक्वेंस. लास्ट टर्म पता है, शुरू वाली टर्म पता है, लास्ट वाली टर्म पता है. दैट इट मींस दैट वी नो from where it is starting and where does it end, right? So if we know both the terms, the first term and last term, it basically means that the sequence is finite. You can always calculate the total number of terms in these cases. But if we haven't marked the last term and we have left it like this, it is used for to be continued. right? So if you have written 1, 4, 7, 10, 13 and dot, 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 it means that you don't know the last term. And this is an infinite sequence, right? So we have already also covered one basic example. So we want you to find out the first 3 terms of this sequence Tn. The first 3 terms of the sequence Tn. Now, how we are defining Tn is equals to n upon n square plus 1. N upon n square plus 1. Now, what are the first 3 terms? So first 3 terms माने कि आपको n का वैल्यू 1, 2, 3 रखना है. फर्स्ट टर्म माने t1, सेकेंड टर्म बोले तो 2, t2, थर्ड टर्म बोले तो t3. तो t1 निकालने के लिए आपने n को 1 पुट किया, 1 पुट किया तो आपके पास आंसर आया 1/2, 2 पुट किया तो आपके पास आंसर आया 2/5 और 3 पुट किया तो आंसर आया 3/10. सो फर्स्ट 3 टर्म्स ऑफ दिस सीक्वेंस are 1/2, 2/5 and 3/10. So this is just a basic introduction about your chapter name and what does it contain, right? It contains 3 things. First is AP, second is GP, and third is series. How to solve series. Like you will be given a lot of series here and you have to solve them. You have to find the sum or subtraction, जो भी दिया हुआ है series के केस में, but you have to solve that series. You have to reach to the final answer. Right now, how we are going to do these things, we'll understand in the next few minutes. So first, today we'll be understanding AP, which we have already studied in class 10, right? So we'll be starting with AP. Sorry. No, AP you have already studied, first of all. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. Okay, AP. What is an AP? So first of all, AP is something like this: A plus D, A plus 2D, and this is how you will reach to A plus n minus 1 into D, right? This is general AP. This is your general AP, right? So you can, how can you define an AP is an, if an plus 1 minus an is equals to D, that is if the difference between 2 consecutive terms, that is if you subtract a term from its next term, an plus 1 minus an, and it came out D for every term, for every pair of consecutive terms in your sequence, then that sequence is AP, right? Now its nth term is defined as A plus n minus 1 into D. We all know that, right? Okay, I want you to understand some fun things about it. You already know these things, man. Sum of n terms, n/2 2a plus n minus 1 into D, n/2 a plus l. An is nth term, Sn is sum of first n terms. Now this can also be written in the formula L. We can also use L, which is the last term, right? A is first term, B is common difference, N is number of terms, which is the variable here. In this case, we have this variable. So every chapter of algebra is based on one variable, right? So PNC was based on R. If you talk about NCR or NPR, this R is the variable. Similarly, in this chapter, your N is the variable. You have to mostly talk about N, right? So, and a term of AP is a linear expression in N. These are some basic things, basically, which I want you to understand. These things are like very basic. So last term is what? L or AN, right? But how do you define that term? You define that term by A plus N minus 1 into D. This is basically a linear expression in N. N is your variable. Now, why am I saying it linear? Because the highest power of N in this form, in this case, is 1. So this is a linear expression in N. Also understand, if I solve this expression, this would become ND plus A minus D. If I multiply D with N minus 1, so it would become D into N minus D plus A. So this is the constant part because you know A and D. For every AP, you know A and D, right? These are the fixed things. Every AP, you know A and D, right? And N is the variable because N keeps changing. The number of terms keeps changing. It can be 1, it can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In for the same sequence, for the same AP, you will have a lot of values of N. मतलब जितनी भी terms हैं, first term के लिए N1 होगा, second term के लिए N2 होगा, third term के लिए N3 होगा. So N is a variable here, right? So you can write your nth term as N into D plus A minus D. So suppose ये आपने 10th में क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए हैं, that prove that this is an AP and find the common difference. आप इसमें n को पहले 1 रखते थे, A1 आएगा 2, A2 आएगा 6, A3 आएगा 10. आप ऐसे वैल्यूज निकालते थे और फिर कॉमन डिफरेंस के थ्रू दिखाते थे कि दिस इज एन एपी, राइट? But now what I am telling you now in class 11th, as you have grown up significantly from class 10. So now understand this, whenever your nth term is given a linear expression in n. So this is a linear expression in n, right? 4n minus 2. You always know what is your what is this sequence and what is the common difference of this sequence, right? So the sequence is clearly AP because this is a linear expression in n. And the common difference of this sequence will be the coefficient of n, that is 4. 4 is the common difference. See, right here. This is D, common difference of AP. So if you are given the direct formula to calculate AN, and that formula is a linear expression in n. So you can easily say that this is going to be an AP in which the common difference is the coefficient of n. So that is what we have written here. So मैं directly class 11th में इसको पूरा solve नहीं करूंगा ना. I would say that as this AN is a linear expression in n, so this is an AP. अगर आप मुझसे कॉमन डिफरेंस पूछते हैं तो 4 सीधा, राइट? जस्ट लाइक दिस, 4n plus 1 AP है और कॉमन डिफरेंस 4 है, राइट? हाँ जी, इफ यू हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम प्लीज फील फ्री टू आस्क. Okay. सो आपको दिया जाएगा इस तरीके की चीजें कि आपको nth टर्म बता दी गई है एंड देन यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट what is the progression, and if you correctly guess the progression, then what is the either common difference or common ratio of this sequence. Now the next term, and it's a very important property, right? You haven't seen this in a finite AP, yani ke an AP which contains a fixed number of terms. We know how many terms are in the AP, right? So in a finite AP, the sum of equidistant terms, equidistant meaning at equal distances, from the beginning and from the end. So let's say suppose you have this AP, okay, A plus D, or let's say you have this AP A1, A2, A3, up to AN. So what we are saying is, if you take first term from starting and first term from last, so this should be A1 and AN. If you take second term from starting and second term from last, so they should be A2 and second term from last will be AN minus 1. AN minus 1. Right. Now third term from the starting and third term from the last will be A3 and AN minus 2. Right. So what we are saying is that the equidistant terms from the beginning and from the end, the sum of equidistant terms from the beginning and from the end is always same and is equal to the sum of first and last term. Let's understand this thing. But before that, please complete these points. Please write all these points. Okay. If anyone is writing, please raise your hand. If you're not, okay. First, I'll show you this last point because this is an important point. We'll be using this again. Just remember this, we'll be using this again, okay? That is why I want you to understand this. Okay, so whatever you wanted to say in this question, in this part, you can easily understand that by this example. Yes. And everybody has written this as well. All right. I'm about to remove this. Two. Two. Okay, so this is an AP. I'll give you two APs. Right. First of all, this one. Okay. चलिए फर्स्ट एंड लास्ट ये एक एपी है कोई जिसके पास 8 टर्म्स है. ओके. नाउ द सम ऑफ फर्स्ट एंड लास्ट इज 23, राइट? नाउ सेकंड एंड सेकंड लास्ट इज आल्सो 23, 19 plus 4. Third and third last also 23, 7 plus 16. Then 13 and 10, 23. So sum of equidistant terms from the end and from the beginning will always be same and is equal to the sum of first and last term. Right? Why this is happening? जब आप यहां से यहां पे जा रहे हो तो यू आर डूइंग माइनस डी, और जब आप यहां से यहां पे जा रहे हो तो यू आर डूइंग प्लस डी. यहां से यहां जा रहे हैं, एक बार वैल्यू, एक बार डी ऐड कर रहे हैं, और यहां से यहां पे आ रहे हैं तो एक बार डी माइनस कर रहे हैं. तो बेसिकली हम कुछ कर ही नहीं रहे, हम वैल्यू का सम नहीं चेंज कर रहे हैं. जितना बढ़ाते हैं उतना ही घटा भी देते हैं, राइट? तो इसलिए हमेशा सम ऑफ इक्विडिस्टेंट टर्म्स विल बी सेम, right? But let's understand it from one other point of view. Let's say these total number of terms are even in this case because there are 8 terms. But what I'm telling you is let's take 7 terms. Now, what is this? This is an AP of 7 terms, right? So the sum of first and last term is 20. Then second and second last term is also 20. Third and third last term is also 20. And the twice of middle term is also 20. Because middle term will be, middle term के लिए कोई term बची नहीं है. It will get added to itself. 10 plus 10, 20. Right? The total number of terms, even हो या odd हो, doesn't matter. The sum of equidistant terms from the beginning and from the end is always same. And why this is happening? I told you. जितना d हमने यहाँ पे बढ़ाया उतना ही पीछे घटाया. फिर अगली बार गए तो एक d फिर से बढ़ा के गए, और यहां से इधर आए तो एक d को घटाया. तो जितना d ऐड करते हैं उतना ही d सब्ट्रैक्ट भी करते जा रहे हैं. दैट इज व्हाई द सम इज ऑलवेज सेम. ओके. एंड so if you are given an AP, like this, so what we are saying is that the sum of first and last term a1 plus an is equals to a2 plus an minus 1 plus a3 plus, sorry, is equals to a3 plus an minus 2. This can be generalized as, if this term is k, then this term will be n minus k minus 1. See, if it's 3, it's 2 is subtracted from here. If it's 2, 1 is subtracted from here. So if it's k, we need to subtract k minus 1 from n, which can also be written as ak plus A of n minus k plus 1. N minus k plus 1. Right? If the sequence is inactive. Now, let's solve some questions based on these. We've already solved questions on AP वैसे तो, but just come to page number 185, everyone. Page number 185. We solve question number 5. Question number 5. Okay, I'll give you one question. Note this. Just cha, 5th and 7th and 8th. 5 and 6. Yes, solve this. And this is an AP. एक AP है for an AP. You are given pth term. This is pth term. This is qth term. You have to find pqth term. For example, let's take P2 and Q3. So you know second term, you know third term. You have to find sixth term. But this is all in terms of P and Q. you have to find pqth term first, and then we will find out spq, sum of pq terms. First find out tpq. Try this, everyone. Anji, has anyone solved this? So let's take AP ki first term as A and common difference as D. Then what is the pth term? How will you define pth term? It should be A plus P minus 1 into D. That is your pth term, right? A plus P minus 1 into D. The value of pth term is 1 by Q. Then you have been given qth term as well. Qth term is A plus Q minus 1 into D is equals to 1 by P. What do you need to do? You need to find A and D from here. भाई ये वाला क्वेश्चन तो हम लोगों ने बहुत किया है, टी इस तरीके के, मतलब कि आपको T4 दे दिया, हमने 4 टर्म दे दी एपी की, और लेट्स से 7th टर्म दे दी एपी की, तो क्या आपसे बोला जाता था 16th टर्म निकाल दो, या कोई भी टर्म पूछ ली जाती थी. तो कैसे करते थे? फर्स्ट यू फाइंड ए, देन यू फाइंड डी, आई मीन यू फाइंड ए एंड डी, and then we'll simply find P16 easily. So how to solve? This is a linear equation. This is a setup of linear equation in two variables, system of linear equation in two variables, right? Now you can subtract them first. Yes, correct, Aisha. Good. So you can subtract them. A will directly gets cancelled out. And from P minus 1 into D, if you subtract Q minus 1 into D, so D will be common. You will directly subtract Q minus 1 from P minus 1. So minus 1 will get cancelled out if you subtract them. So what it will become is P minus Q into D after subtraction. P minus Q into D is equals to 1 by Q minus 1 by P. If you solve this, this will become P minus Q upon PQ. P minus Q into P minus Q will get cancelled out. So D will become 1 upon PQ. सॉल्व करने पे सबसे पहले तो आपको मिलेगा D. What is D? ठीक है, D जब आप निकाल लेंगे, then you can easily find out A, and after A you can easily find out TPQ. Okay, so you already find out D. Now you want to find out A, so put D in any one of them. A plus P minus 1 into D is 1 by PQ is equals to 1 by Q. So this will become A plus P into 1 upon PQ will be 1 by Q. If you multiply P and 1 by PQ, it will be 1 by Q minus 1 by PQ is equals to 1 by Q. ये cancel हुआ. So this A is 1 by PQ. So your A is also 1 by PQ and your D is also 1 by PQ. What do you need to find? You first need to find TPQ. Okay, we'll find this out. Oh, sorry. This should be what? A plus number of term minus 1 into D. So this should be 1 by PQ plus PQ minus 1 into 1 by PQ. देखते जाओ. You can easily solve it. So this would be what? This is just 1 by PQ plus, if you multiply them, first term will be 1 minus 1 upon PQ. So they will get cancelled out. The answer is 1. So your PQth term will be 1. Now if you want to find out SPQ, you have to apply the formula. Number of terms divided by 2 into 2A plus number of terms minus 1 into D. Or else you can apply A plus L. Now what is L? L is this. TPQ. PQth term, you have already found out the last term of the sequence. So you can write this as A, that is what? 1 by PQ plus L, last term, that is what? 1. Now if you solve this, this would be SPQ is equals to, multiply it with अंदर जाके, तो it will be, हाँ जी, ये मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो 1 by 2 प्लस ये मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो PQ. In fact, I would say just simply multiply PQ inside. Take 1 by 2 outside. Just take PQ inside. So it will be 1 plus PQ. Your desired answer in question number 4. You have to prove this. But to prove this, you also need to find out A and D. So that is how we are solving AP. I would urge you to solve some questions from exercise 9.2, because these questions are basic. So solve them and come with your doubts in the next class, right? We'll study some more topics from AP only in the next class. Okay, today's class is over now. You can leave the class after your written. Yeah, Aisha, I'm making you host, bache. Whenever you are done and everybody is done, just leave. You can leave. Okay.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, what Aisha? Aisha, you want to say something?
yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
सर इन ऊपर वाली जगह में ब्रैकेट आपने कैसे खोला है p-1 into 1 by pq1
ओके, तो देख मैंने ये ब्रैकेट ऐसे खोला, पी को पहले में तो 1 by pq अंदर जाएगा, 1 by pq जब p से मल्टीप्लाई करेगा तो ये बन जाएगा कुछ ऐसे p into 1 by pq। तो देख p से p कैंसिल हो जाएगा, बच जाएगा सिर्फ 1 by q। तो ये लिख दिया 1 by q फर्स्ट टर्म, और फिर 1 by pq का -1 के साथ होगा तो -1 upon pq। समझ आई बात आयशा कैसे बोला कि नहीं? ओके
यस सर हमें